Twitch should have started.
Okay. Yes, I'm in. Oh, you still need to change the title. for
Yeah.
Twitch.
Alright, name has been updated.
Yay! Let me refresh the page. Yep. Looks good.
Our stream is all set up. So, if anybody is watching right now, we're just starting in about 6 minutes. So, just hang tight. Okay, SinCrone is here. Okay, awesome. Let me just see if SinCrone is planning to join voice chat. Ideally not, because it's 1 a.m. Okay, fair enough. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the match between Yuzu and SinCrone. We're very excited to be here. And he's asking if he has to be in voice chat. He does not. So I think I'm gonna be the only person manning this thing today, so I apologize if anything is laggy or slow. Okay, yeah, so I think if everything's good, then both players can go ahead and roll. Alright, so we're going into our bands. Starting with SinCrone's band. Okay, ban Hard Rock 1. Okay. Oh, Hard Rock 2. Okay. Alright, no mod 2 ban. Okay, awesome. With bans in place, now it is time to pick. No mod 5. Okay, going into no mod 5 speed pick to start with. Let me just fetch the map. And I believe mods are already set for just no fail, but just doing that just in case. So this map is basically just 220 BPM tapping. It's got a few like gimmicky rhythms in there, but should be, I guess depending on the type of player you are, it's either really chill or a nightmare. It's not really an in-between. Alright, starting in. Yuzu has an early miss, but there is still plenty of map left. and things can still go anywhere. But Yuzu does have the ACT lead currently, so as for the score, oh shoot, I can't see. There we go. The score is frozen. Okay, well that's fun. Okay, let's just see if I can try and fix this. There we go. Okay, there we go. So we see that SinCrone has a very slight score lead. However, I do want to remind everybody that SinCrone does have a 50k debuff. So that means SinCrone has 50k subtracted off of all of his scores for the tournament, which means that if Yuzu gets within 50k of SinCrone's score, then he does get the point. Reason for that being the server is a very diverse server of very wide range of ranks, and SinCrone is afforded it, so craft player debuff. And halfway through the map, and we see that Yuzu is still within 50k. He's about 25k behind. And both of them are comboing. But if either one of them breaks right now, it would completely change the game. But unfortunately, Yuzu does miss, and SinCrone is pulling ahead outside of that 50k score range. And with so little of the map to go, it is looking a little bit bleak for Yuzu, who is now 200k behind SinCrone. And just like that, SinCrone has taken his first break point of the match. Let me just get that on the scores. Okay, so next up we are going into SinCrone's pick. Alrighty, there we go. CM2, let's have fun. This is the 2B map. It's one of the cursed maps of the pool. So this map is very heavy in sliders. You will see once I put the map. Okay, so this map involves holding down the slider with one finger and tapping circles with the other. It has been speculated that there are better ways to do it, but I have not been able to figure out how. Okay, let's start match. So, yeah. So kind of going back to what I was saying, this map you have to, as far as I know, you have to hold down the slider with one finger and tap circles with the other. So it's a kind of finger control or alt that most people aren't really familiar with and you don't really see often in this game. So we will see. We'll see how this goes. And SinCrone has opted to use Hidden. And we currently see that Yuzu actually has a light score lead. But unfortunately he does break, which is going to shrink that lead and go over to SinCrone. And SinCrone does also— oh, no, that break was from Yuzu. Oh, but SinCrone does break. Okay, sorry, I was watching the stream. I should not be doing that. There's a bit of latency. I should be watching OBS. There we go. So the scores are pretty close together right now, about 25% of the way through. So if it continues like this, if Yuzu stays within that 50k margin of SinCrone's score, he will be getting the point. And SinCrone misses. So they are performing pretty similarly. However, that is not exactly what SinCrone wants if he wants to take the point here. And with SinCrone breaking and Yuzu holding, the score lead is going to go over to Yuzu. But unfortunately, Yuzu does lose it. And the scores are almost equal right now. And we have a pretty dense reading section coming up, so we will see what happens then. And this is the aforementioned reading section. It's not that hard if you're a reading player, but if you're not used to this kind of like dense, like cluttered format, you're more likely to struggle with this. And it seems like both SinCrone and Yuzu broke at the end of that section. So scores— what I actually haven't noticed is that SinCrone is now pulling outside of that 50k rank range, so he's more than 50k ahead of Yuzu. And with just a sliver of the map to go, can Yuzu make up that difference? And unfortunately, by a tiny margin, unfortunately, depending on whether you Yuzu or SinCrone, SinCrone will be getting the point for that, but that was extremely close. If we factor in the 50k debuff, that was only about 20k apart, or 10k. Alright, Yuzu is picking CM3. So this is the first time that anybody has picked CM3 in this tournament. This is the storyboard map, so we are going to be seeing this on stream for the first time, which is very exciting because I really like this map. But it seems like a lot of the players don't feel the same because it's a it's a bit of a doozy. Excuse me. Okay, let me fetch the map. All right, make sure to have your storyboards on and your backgrounds dimmed. We don't want you to not be able to play because you can't see. And I wonder wonder if I'm able to do that on the screens that I have here. Should be, right? Surely. You know what? I'll just go ahead and start. Okay, we can't see the storyboard. Shit. I am not sure how to change that. Let's see. Yeah, nothing really I can do. Maybe it should have been in the settings, but we still are able to see through the AR0 storyboard disabled version who is hitting the notes. So it's a bit of a bummer that we can't see the storyboard. It's definitely suboptimal. I'm sure these players watching it back would have wanted to see as well as anybody on stream right now. But hey, at least we get to see notes, and it's not just a black screen like the worst case scenario would have been. So we are seeing that Yuzu has a bit of a score lead here. And we also see that neither player has really been able to build up much of a combo, but that's also not really much of a surprise for this map. And Yuzu is pulling ahead at 80k now, almost at 100k, over double SinCrone score. So it is very apparent that he has been practicing this map, which is exactly what you need to do in order to do well. And Yuzu is climbing over 150k now. Meanwhile, SinCrone is struggling a bit to get over the 50k mark. And we're 3/4 of the way through. And it does look like Yuzu is going to be claiming his first point here. But that's a good strategic pick for Yuzu. So he does break, but unfortunately it doesn't look like there's a lot of map left. So unfortunately it's a bit too late for SinCrone to claw his way back. Oh shoot, I've been watching Twitch again. Holy, oh no. Okay, I should really be watching OBS. Oh wait, no, I'm watching Twitch. Oh hell no. Alright, well, congratulations, Yuzu, for your first point. Okay, I'm just gonna close the Twitch stream on my end, just so we don't end up looking at that instead of OBS, because that would make it so that there seems to be a bit of a lag in my commentary because there is latency, so. Alright, SinCrone is picking the third cursed map. Okay, awesome. This is also the first time that CM1 has been picked. So we're seeing, in this match, we've seen both of the maps that we haven't seen in the previous matches. So let me fetch that real quick. Alright. Alright, we see SinCrone again going with hidden and Yuzu going with no mod. And starting the map, we see that Yuzu has a slight accuracy question mark, but unfortunately that is changing very quickly. But unfortunately SinCrone breaks, so Yuzu is going to run away with the score a bit. And especially with a map like this, with how short it is, a miss is going to be critical in affecting your score. So that miss is going to hurt SinCrone, and especially now that he missed again. But Yuzu does trade back, so there is still a chance. But Yuzu is quickly running away with the score from SinCrone's first break. They have pretty similar combos, but Yuzu does have a better ACT lead here. But nevertheless, if anybody were to break now, it would be they would flip the score very drastically. It would have a big impact. Shoot, I'm not very articulate. Fuck. But as of now, Yuzu is winning. And SinCrone breaks again, and that is the end of the map. And Yuzu has claimed his second point of the match. And I believe his first break point as well from SinCrone. Alright, Yuzu is going for a no mod 1. Alright, there we go. Fetch real quick. Alrighty, everybody is ready. Okay, so no mod 1 it's a pretty standard no mod 1. It's a consistency map, aim consistency. So this map is really a matter of who can combo and who can't, and who shimmitses and who doesn't. So holding combo will be essential for this map. And nerves will also probably play a bigger factor here. Okay, so starting off, we see that SinCrone has an SS, and I think Yuzu got a 100 somewhere, so SinCrone has a very slight ACT lead, which is causing that score gap, but he breaks, so then Yuzu trades right back! But just that like slightly fewer notes, more of a combo that Yuzu was able to get is giving him his current score lead right now. And I think Yuzu also has a very slight ACT lead, which is giving him that extra score as well. Alright, and we see the score gap is pretty stable right now, as both players are comboing with similar combos. Alright, we see that the score has shifted over to SinCrone. But it's a very small score lead, and just as a reminder, SinCrone does have a 50k debuff, so he not only has to beat Yuzu, he has to beat Yuzu by at least 50k. But unfortunately, Yuzu's break there is going to accelerate SinCrone's lead, which is rapidly approaching that 50k benchmark, and as of now is over the 50k benchmark. So in order for Yuzu to win, SinCrone would need a break soon. But unfortunately, SinCrone doesn't look like he's going to be breaking anytime soon with 600 combo and counting, and his score approaching 500k. And Yuzu is also holding a combo, but unfortunately that break earlier is really hurting him as his combo is only at 300 compared to SinCrone's 700 combo. And as we're approaching the end of the map, it does look like the scores are set in stone. So SinCrone will be taking this breakpoint from Yuzu with the score of 700k. We'll see where that ends. $750k versus 530k. A great performance from both players, but unfortunately Yuzu broke at a bad time, and that allowed SinCrone to run away with the score. Let's see, have I been updating the score on Yuzu's end? It should be 3-2, but I don't think I gave Yuzu any points. There we go, and now SinCrone has 3. There we go. Alright, SinCrone is going for the hidden 2. Personally, I also love this song. Definitely not biased as the person who made the pool, but the song is such a cute, vibey, like it's such a bop. Such a bop. Alright, everybody's ready. MP starts 10. Alrighty, so SinCrone is gonna start off with an accuracy lead, which is giving him his score lead. And a bit more background, SinCrone is a hidden main, so this is likely his strong suit, which is probably why he picked this map. And neither player has broken yet, but however, SinCrone does have a substantial ACT lead over Yuzu, which is giving him that score lead. And with Yuzu's break, that score lead is only going to get bigger. And Yuzu breaks again. And SinCrone does break, which does give Yuzu the opportunity to bring it back, but however, Yuzu also doesn't really have much combo. The SinCrone is very clearly comfortable with AR8 reading, especially on this map, and Yuzu appears less comfortable. So this is definitely a good pick for SinCrone. And as Yuzu continues to break and SinCrone continues to hold, the score lead for SinCrone is getting bigger. Getting bigger by the second. And with SinCrone having over double Yuzu's score right now. And still having 98% AC as well. Oh, and SinCrone does finally break. But unfortunately, it is a bit too late for Yuzu to catch up, with this being the end of the map. And especially with Yuzu also struggling to hold combo himself. Alright, and that will be one more point for SinCrone. And SinCrone is now on match point as well. So if Yuzu is able to bring back this score, if Yuzu is able to tie the score, then we might be able to see a tiebreaker today. But he does have to be very careful with his pick here. Okay, Hard Rock 1. Potentially a strategy pick, considering SinCrone banned Hard Rock 2. Oh. Okay. And let me fetch the map. And SinCrone is going to be the first to miss here, which gives Yuzu the opportunity to run away with the score a bit. And Yuzu does also have a slight ACT lead as well. But they are pretty close. Alright, and we see that the scores are very similar as of now, but neither player can afford to break, because a break will, just like we've seen previously, a break will very massively affect the outcome. And Yuzu does break, which gives SinCrone the opportunity to catch up that score lead, which is very quickly shrinking. But of course, as a reminder, not only does SinCrone have to catch up to Yuzu, he does also have to get more than 50k above Yuzu's score in order to get the point, which he is very quickly doing right now, as the score lead stretches to 40k and now 50k. So if Yuzu wants to this point, SinCrone needs to break very soon. But unfortunately, Yuzu does lose his combo, which gives SinCrone even more score lead. And if SinCrone continues to hold and use... Ooh, actually, with it being 75% of the way through the map, I'm not sure if Yuzu has enough time to really catch up anymore. And unfortunately, Yuzu does break again. And SinCrone continues to hold, with its only break being at the very beginning, so this is almost an FC. And with the end of the map, that is SinCrone's final point, and that will be the end of the match. So congratulations, SinCrone, on winning. So SinCrone will be moving on to fight Bunions in round of 4 or semifinals, and Yuzu will be fighting, I believe, either Fuzzy or Jess for next week. Alrighty, so thank you for coming to the match. Hopefully I was okay as a commentator. It was actually harder than I expected, so yeah, but it was fun. Hope you enjoyed. I said that already, but yeah. Let's go to the win screen here for Laser. Oh shoot, I need to give where is it? I need to give SinCrone his points. There we go. There we go. Congrats, SinCrone. Way. Or yay. I combined yay and woo, and so I said way. Oh my god. Okay, I can't talk. But again, thanks for coming. See you next time.